Alright, so today we're playing the most underrated episode in Duke Nukem 3D. Lunar Apocalypse, here we go. Now, I don't really mind this episode too much, of course that gives you a rude awakening. So yeah, I don't really hate this episode. I mean, I think it's the weakest out of the original three. I think LA Meltdown is clearly the best, and Shrapnel City is pretty damn good as well. But I don't hate Lunar Apocalypse. I think it's a little redundant. It does get repetitive after a while with the space theme. But you can say that about Shrapnel City with the city theme, you know, it's the same criticism. But I think people do get tired of the space theme for like 10 or so levels, you know, it does get tiring. But still, it's still Duke 3D. It's still really good at the end of the day. This is still one of the greatest first-person shooters of all time. Now this guy is what people have an issue with in this episode. The goddamn enforcers are such pains in the ass because they're hit scanners, they're relentless, and yeah, you can just do the same kind of dance you do with the pig cops, but still you're bound to get hit some. I just love Duke Nukem 3D in any form, you know. I'm playing on the Raise source port, and it's pretty good so far. I don't really have any major complaints. I mean, it is weird, it being powered by Z-Doom, but whatever. It's still a pretty decent source port. So this opener is actually pretty damn good, I think. It is really good. More enforcers. People really get annoyed by these fuckers, and I don't really mind them too much. But they do get a little bit difficult when they're in, like, packs. I think the drones are way worse. They're way more dickish, and that's another aspect that people absolutely despise about Lunar Apocalypse. The goddamn fucking turrets. The episode itself is a little bit inconsistent and a little bit uneven. But again, it's still a decent episode in Duke 3D. It's just the weakest of the original three. Now this guy is the biggest pain in the ass in the entire episode. Same with those Slimers that really get abused in later missions. And the same enemy types don't really help things too much. Maybe if they added like one more enemy to just to kind of break up the monotony a bit, that would help. But this is so cool. You like look at the outside and then you get attacked by drones. I mean, it is a pain in the ass for first time players, but again, Duke 3D's gunplay is just so much fun, you know. The EDF. Speaking of Duke Nukem Forever 2001 got, you know, leaked, as you guys obviously know, which is awesome, but I don't really want to talk about it at this moment. You know how it is. Because, you know, Duke Nukem Forever in its current form is a disappointment, while Duke Nukem 3D is just fucking unbelievable. Even in this weakest episode, it's still fucking really fun. And it's still so smooth to play, man. It's so fucking good. The movement is just on point. I mean, the shooting mechanics are just incredible, man. Even with the hit scanners, which I would defend hit scanners to the day I fucking die. Whoa. You typically like see their shadow before they just like barrage you. So that kind of prepares you, I guess. But still, it's like sometimes hard to avoid in later levels in the episode. I mean, this game is worshipped among, you know, first-person shooter fans, but I feel like, I don't know, man, this kind of tops Blood for me, man. I know Blood is fucking worshipped, like even more so than this game, but I personally prefer Duke 3D. That's just my personal thing, man. I know Blood is technically better, I understand that, and I'll give Blood fans that. I'm a Blood fan. But something about Duke Nukem 3D just fucking speaks to me, man. I don't know what it is. Duke 3D is so good. But again, this episode is kind of underrated and kind of overlooked because a lot of it is just samey space stations. Which is fine, but again, if this episode just removed like 3 levels or something like that, something really small, then it would be really like celebrated among fans, I think. I think just it's a little too long. And there's just more interesting levels later on, like in Shrapnel City. I definitely think that LA Meltdown is the most even, consistent episode, but Shrapnel City, people could argue that even that gets repetitive. I don't agree, but still. So yeah, do you rate Lunar Apocalypse as highly as LA Meltdown and Shrapnel City? I really want to know. I think this is, if it were to come down to it, I think this is my least favorite, episode. Even if we consider The Birth and Alien World Order, I still rate it the lowest, but still, it's not a terrible episode or anything. I'm just going to skip past them, because you can do that in classic games, and you don't get penalized. I'm just going to ignore those fuckers. Damn it. That's going to do it for me. See you guys next time. What do you think of Lunar Apocalypse? Let me know in the comments. Bye.